and then on paper you'd find the paper blank. Now I understand why I do that, because even for me as an agro processor, in terms of my products, none of my recipes are written down.
What? But as for me, I write all my formulas. It could be a mistake. It could be 5 milliliters of this, 5 milliliters of that. I write down every single thing. So if I make a mistake on this, it's written, it's right down. I don't have to do it anymore. Don't go that route anymore because it's a mistake.
No. For me, it's not written down, and I think it has to do slightly with the paranoia of my accounts and everything being hacked before I went deeply into agro processing. But if somebody literally wants to steal my recipes, they may probably have to take out my brain out of my head, to be honest.
Wow.
So I have 17 flavors of sauces.
All in your head?
All in my head.
And it's consistent every time?
Consistent every time. Every single time. Like,
wow.
And it's amazing. And then the most challenging thing is I have a taster. And the taster is a 5-year-old child. And you know children palate already.
They're honest. And you're honest as well.
If he says it's not good, then it's not good. Point blank, simple. If he says it's not good,
that's unbelievable.
It's not good. For example, I did a batch of fruit medley barbecue sauce. So I've taken all fruits you can think of and turned it into a barbecue sauce. And the first time that I made it, it tasted wonderful. Like you could taste all the fruits. The second time I made it, you could only taste the watermelon.
Wow.
And then you say, "Mommy, try again." It's not good. It's yak. And I'm literally trying to figure out what's yak about it. Only because I'd skipped one step in making the entire batch. So I now had to go back and throw it out and start back all over. Because I cannot go in a book and say, okay, I'm going to flip through the pages to find out where I went wrong. And it's the same thing. Now I've launched, another 3 other products going into cosmetics. An anti-aging face mask.
Nice.
They're not written anywhere.
Wow.
It's not written anywhere. Sometimes I feel like, okay, boy, I have a headache. Because honestly, when we have farmers market, I have to make all flavor sauces. And I cannot make 1 bottle in each. I have to make at least 10 bottles in each.
So all that's from your head?
All that's from my head. So you can imagine me standing in a kitchen.
Trying to remember
all them sauces in one time. To manufacture and bottle and label for a farmer's market for the following day.
I believe you should write something down. Maybe don't keep it on the computer where you'll be hacked again. But write it down. Buy a sieve by something like that, and put your recipes.
I was convinced of that the last time. It didn't really work out. I tried to write, like the pen just it wasn't moving. It wasn't moving on the paper. So young persons out there, don't follow in that footsteps.
Don't do that. Follow in my footsteps. Write down every single thing.
Don't do like me, because you may feel very overwhelmed. If you are strong-minded and strong-willed, then you can try.
Like you.
Like me, but don't follow in that footsteps of keeping everything mentally. Because what I am now trying to tell myself, if something is to happen where I cannot manufacture, who's actually going to upkeep that legacy?
That's the thing.
But then you find that even with me, none of my products are preservatives.
Wow.
Now all of them have to be handmade. There is a technique to do it handmade.
So what's the shelf life like?
It's 6 to 12 months.
Wow. Okay. It's fine. It's good.
Yeah, it's good. But what my concern was not the shelf life. My concern was about, we have so many persons with chronic ailments, heart disease, kidney failure, high cholesterol, and they go to the physician and then they hear, "Oh, I'm sorry to tell you, you cannot eat this, you cannot eat that." So their whole life has changed. But what is being offered out there? So you go in the healthy route, then you have to eat a tasteless salad that tastes like water. You can't put salt. You understand? So it was about creating a product that would basically give you flavor, but not implicate you health-wise.
Okay.
Now, I like food. I'm a chef, so I always go in the exotic way of combining things together.
As you say about the chef, it's like a month and a half I started gymming. I started about gymming, and and I've been making some great salads. I could tell you that.
You see on your salads?
I could actually.
That was a salad you were eating yesterday.
Yes.
And you didn't offer none of us any salad.
It was so great. I'll have to make some more so I can share. I will have to have a booth, I think, at that new location opposite Bango St. Lucia in
Good luck with that.
Gozile, just to serve
do
salads, yes, and promote healthy living and fitness.
You know, I actually had that idea in terms of opening a booth just to serve soups. Yeah, like I went on this. What I let me tell you, that was just the craziest idea. And you see, that's what I did. Yeah, soup. Just
It's great. Maybe to you, it's not.
That's
crazy,
what I'm
but
saying.
Me, like,
That's what I'm saying to the young people. Your silly idea, it may seem silly,
Yes,
but it can be a
yes,
big
yes,
breakthrough. And the reason why I'm saying that, the first day of the year, I go strict diet, no flour, nothing. Anyway, that passes me for fried chicken and curry in behind them.
Yeah.
Right? So then I started making these soups. So I'm using like 8-9 different vegetables. I'm strict diet so much, I'm not even using dairy. I go and grate coconut to get milk. It started tasting real good. So I'm like, okay, that's getting boring there, you know. I started doing butter lobster, adding the chunks to it, like blending almond nuts, crusting the chicken in it and baking it, so you have chicken bits with it started to become exciting.
Yeah, then
But then,
afterwards-
boy, would I be able to start selling the soup?
No.
Because when I make the soup, I'll not be hungry, but when I start to pour the soup, you understand how good that would so it just like,
Yeah, as for the healthy, in the healthy
Yeah.
aspect as well. Yesterday at the office, I saw a bottle of Coke, and I was like, "Hey, who has that unhealthy drink? You know, who has that unhealthy drink right now?" So we have to try our best to promote the healthy living.
as
Although
if
we
you
have
had some of our unhealthy drink yesterday, didn't you?
no, it was just wine. Wine is, to be honest, you can. To be honest, if you on that healthy route in life, you can have a little wine. You could have a little gin, but you see, whiskey, it's packed with sugar. It's packed with sugar.
Hello,
Not alcohol.
hear that. Okay, we're not even going to talk about that on the show.
Yeah,
Because I'm not going to encourage no young person to
that's
drink.
true. That's true.
But as an agro processor, you cannot hit whiskey. Please, do not hit whiskey. Okay? If you go to a heart doctor, they will tell you whiskey is not rum. You can drink whiskey. Whiskey is healthy.
Healthy?
If you go to a heart
Although it's
doctor.
packed with sugar.
That's if you go to a heart doctor.
Oh.
Now, since we're talking about alcohol, we're supposed to be having a guest on later today. I'm not sure if he's going to make it because he did message to say that he was still in traffic, but he's supposed to come and speak about that. Boy, that's so exciting. I try not to show the
Yes,
excitement.
you see the chemistry. I actually take you into the alcohol aspect.
Boy. Yeah, but you cannot give people the impression that I drink it.
No, it's not that. It's not that. It's not that we're actually promoting him right now. So I
Okay,
actually
alright,
grabbed
okay,
it to
so
the alcohol
I
aspect
get what
of
you're saying.
his business.
So yes, he manufactures what we call spirits, and those spirits are made from exotic stuff on island.
Wow.
I'm known as Miss Exotic, but then he went way up on the exotic part, and he makes Dashin vodka.
Wow. When you told me that, I was like, wow, Dashin vodka.
Dashin
I'd
vodka.
never, ever in my lifetime think of Dashin vodka.
Dashin vodka, and I'm going to speak on the Dashin vodka a little bit. As somebody who worked in the cruise line industry, who had to study on spirits, you did the world-class trainings in Mexico and various other places around the globe, you would have to be able to answer the guests when they ask you which one is the most refined vodka, which one is the smoothest vodka on the palate, and so forth. And you find that the competition was between Kettle One and Tito's vodka. Tito's is the most refined vodka you can
I've
find.
never tasted. I don't really like vodka.
I love vodka. I'm a vodka lady.
But
Okay,
with me bashing whiskey, that was my favorite drink. Whiskey.
you see the same thing you
Diwas.
just.
I would take a Diwas before any other drink. I'll take a Diwas before any other drink. But since I'm on my fitness aspect of my life right now, I'm only doing wine and gin.
Okay, so all right. So we're talking about our vodka, and Lord and behold, I came back to St. Lucia and I tasted this Dashin vodka. And guess when I tasted the Dashin vodka? In the whole shutdown.
But to me, you didn't have to drink alcohol during the time. You know?
Yeah, in the shutdown, we didn't have to drink alcohol. But guess what?
No, not drink. It was
It wasn't available to sell.
Oh.
Now the thing is, you find that us agro processors at that time, we had a lot of raw materials. So it is about manufacturing your product and bottling it. For me, I did not know when the country was going to open up, so I took all my raw materials and donated it into ensuring frontline staff were able to get meals.
And believe me, you, that time during the shutdown, most everyone was a farmer at that time. Everyone became farmers. Every single person, even me, at my backyard garden, I had beets, I had turnip, I had celery, I had everything you can think about. Everyone was a farmer at that time.
Yeah, but that was the point. That was healthy living. And we obviously did not know where the whole pandemic thing was going. So a lot of us were uncertain. So to go back to Ike and his fantastic spirits, let me tell you, fantastic spirits. You can make a lot of cocktails out of that. You can cook out of that. So we basically started this whole feeding the frontliners and feeding underprivileged, and we had to do some flambe. So we were like, okay, where are we going to get alcohol now? Two chefs in the kitchen, Chef Ike and myself, and we also had someone else basically in the kitchen helping us out. He's another agro processor. He also has rum, but he doesn't make the rum. He buys it, and he was still low. So Ike is like, well, I have some Dashin vodka.
And that was the first time you tasted it?
That was the first time I tasted it. Let me tell you, that was a whole dance.
So is he bringing some today, no?
He's I thought you didn't like vodka.
No, I want to try it. Dashin vodka. Any taste difference? No.
It's actually the most. I try to look for a nice word like it's the smoothest. Yes, the smoothest vodka I have tasted.
Well, I cannot tell the difference because I don't really like vodka.
So for example, when you've had vodka, you get that harsh taste, like it burns. This one is smooth. You get the strong.
For example, I've tasted Sky vodka. What can you compare?
That Sky vodka is not doesn't. No, Sky vodka doesn't even come close to that.
Okay.
So yeah, it's one of the most smoothest vodkas that I've tasted. Yes, it gives you that heat. You start to sweat, but let me tell you, it tastes good. Yeah, you feel like you're in the gym for the past hour. Let me serious. It gives you that nice heat. But let's not cloud the whole issue and go over only the Dashin vodka. So there is what we call the 5-finger gin.
Well, that's my type.
That tastes good. You actually taste the 5-finger flavor, but you taste that it's gin. He has the mango fruit brandy, the banana brandy, the cocoa chaps, the sorrel liquor, and all of these are made right here in St. Lucia.
Well, I can do the gin, tonic, and lime. It goes fine with me. For you, yeah.
Now you're spoiling the whole taste of the thing. So how are you going to taste the 5-finger if you're going to add tonic to it? And tonic already have a harsh taste by itself.
That's true, but that's how I drink my gin. I could actually just take 1-2 little sips of the 5-finger gin.
You know what? I don't even get any more in that. So, so this is Ica and products, fantastic products. I also in the shutdown, boy, I really discover what worms that making Sadoshai. Like I literally, in going around getting produce and stuff to ensure that we were able to feed underprivileged families, what I found out is that I basically discovered a lot of agro-processors.
During that time. Yeah, that's why I told you about agriculture and agro-processing enterprise.
You find I get Moringa wine, L'Atelier, that's out of the broom. The broom, the straw broom our parents used to have before.
Yes, yeah, it has a berry-like type of stuff.
Yeah, so he makes the wine out of it.
Wow.
It tastes good actually. The wax apple, the guava. That's another gentleman in Dennery. Then I discovered that. Do you know we actually make a chocolate stout in St. Lucia?
Chocolate stout? No, I don't know.
Yes, there's actually a brewery in Cul-de-sac
that makes chocolate stout.
Yes. So
can you compare it to any other drink? Like, no?
I was just about to go in. Okay, so it's about, guys, we're not talking about alcohol, we're talking about being innovative, and that's wild ideas, because you never think of somebody who take Dashin and only Dashin and manufacture vodka out of it, or 5-finger and so forth into spirits. And the chocolate stout is made out of some of our natural fruits and the molasses in there, and also our cocoa beans. So You know the Guinness smooth that everybody like? It's as smooth as that, but just imagine it with chocolate.
Wow. I love chocolate, but more dark chocolate because it's healthier.
You go back on that. Anyway, yeah, on a serious note, that's how smooth it is. It's smooth and it has a chocolate flavor because automatically when I sampled it, I figured that I could make a barbecue sauce out of it.
Out of
the chocolate stout. And I created a barbecue sauce out of it. So now I have a chocolate stout barbecue sauce. So it's about connecting and networking. Because who would have thought that I would have found another agro-processor that I could now take their product and turn it into the base of my product.
So basically you're actually supporting him.
Correct.
For your business.
Correct. Yeah. And it's the same thing that goes as Campari and Guinness. It's about ensuring, okay, as much as they don't manufacture it down here, but then we do have suppliers, we do have agents. So don't be afraid to say, okay, that I'm making this product, but my base is not fully local. Because I have one of my sauces, which is garlic parmesan, and I have to get organic parmesan from overseas because we don't make parmesan cheese down here.
But with my soups, the only thing that's not from St. Lucia is the sodium hydroxide, the light solution. Every other, the sea moss, the turmeric, the everything else, even the charcoal. Look, I buy it from the guy down the road, charcoal.
Exactly.
So I actually activate my charcoal on here, right there.
Exactly.
And even with the neem as well, I make neem, dry out the leaf and pound
as
it.
As you say that, I will have to go and drink some neem tea, but I'm afraid.
Why?
Because so that's a whole cleanse by itself. That's a whole, you don't know that?
No. I know about the I don't know the English name, the ficus. What is it?
No, I stay far away from that one.
Why is that?
No. I good. I will stay like a fatty pongy. No joke, no lie. I'll stay wrong like a dumpling. No. I good.
The thing about cooling, I never really. I would take the cooling, but I will still eat the bad stuff at the same time. When I take the cooling, I don't know why.
You grew up with your mother and your father, not your grandparents.
Yeah, more mother and father.
Yeah,
like half my life with my mother, half my life with my father. So.
Yeah, that's why. If you had grew up with the older folks, you'd get a nice pluck. No, I serious. So the person that grew up with their grandparents, they can tell you when they give you a cooling, you can't go and eat nothing that unhealthy and this a week later. Because they're so strict, they monitor everything you put in your mouth. One time you do
stop.
They're already checking you.
Yeah.
But yeah, even taking the moringa, and turn it into the powder. That is also another way of generating revenue. We also have, I think Winston can speak on that. We also have a honey facility that's brand new equipment, but not being utilized.
You're right there. I think it's Lac-Haya Deanery. Yes, right there in Lac-Haya Deanery.
If we're basically talking about being innovative, so no shit like that. That's just mind-boggling. Yeah, to know that right now, the US cannot even supply half of the honey demand on the global market.
But also in Miku, there's that cocoa facility. The government did every single thing for the farmers, and it's actually they're not using it right now.
So can you give us some indication of some of the facilities that are not in use, that can be in use, if we actually push our entrepreneurs to go forward, or persons who have the idea who may not know of what direction to go in?
Well, we have the honey facility in January. We have the chocolate facility in Mikun.
I know about the facility in Fowasaw.
We have the facility in Fowasaw. Let me see. There's some others, but it's not coming to mind right now. It's not coming. There's some.
Okay. So yeah, like simple. The government has pumped money into some of the facilities, but then we don't have the information. And I'm not saying we don't have the information because the information was not put out there. I'm saying we don't have the information because maybe we were not given the avenue for us to find the information. It was not divulged down to us, because what you find is that there is always a stumbling block. Some of us like to say that it's a red tape, and I know I say that a lot, because even to get certain documents from the Ministry of Health, you'd find that it's more difficult. You get a lot of red tape, but it's about going around the red tape.
Yes, yeah, and that goes back to me with my land and the car. To get the car, it's maybe 4 documents you need, and to get the land is about 7, 8. And you as a young person that's very impatient, you'll be like, you know what, I'll get my car instead. But no, if you just go like 3 documents forward, you will get the land.
Yeah, but sometimes it's not always that easy for you to get the land, because you may find, and it's not putting the idea down. I'm all for young people going in the right avenue to develop themselves. But then sometimes you find that their job is not sufficient enough to back them up for that land.
That's true. And
because the avenue is available for the car. Like a lot of the financial and no blows onto the financial institutions. But then the avenue is always created to get that car. I don't know what's that notion about getting the car. And I love cars. Everybody that know me, they know I love cars. Engines, rims, you get me scratching myself, like, But that's what our society's focus on, the nice cars. And if we're going back into one of the addresses that was addressed to us young people, we were basically promised that if we're focused and we're ensuring putting on that car show, that the nicest car will get a big reward. So it's about what is being pushed in society. Is it entrepreneurship? Is it building and developing? Or is it just getting that nice fast car?
I think it has to do with maybe our foreparents as well. It has a lot to do with our foreparents. I could say it has
explain
it has
that.
a lot to do with our foreparents. So you, as a young person growing up, your mother is telling you like, hey, I'm a farmer. We have to have a word usaf. We have to have a word. My blood to have a word. I feel they call me a doctor. I have a crack by and you're not supposed to be a farmer. You're not supposed to be working hard. You're not supposed to have maybe it's not supposed to be self-employed. So they actually push you from an early age to be in a position to maybe not be self-sufficient, but keeping you dependent, especially on a 9 to 5.
That's true. But then you see, that's the thing. Let's look at logistics here, and then we tend to lash down and see the farmers. A lot of us young people have the notion that farming is a dirty job.
And that's what I'm saying.
It's too hard. I've heard that. It takes too long and so forth. But then do we actually realize without farming, we don't have food?
All over the world, you have to thank the farmers. Appreciate, be grateful for farmers. All over the world.
That's mind-boggling. Like no food, imagine that, people. No soap, no food.
The tacos that you love. I could tell you, the tacos that you love came
right. Why you had to go on the tacos?
Yeah, the tacos that you love came from a farmer. Every single thing in the tacos came from a farmer. Everything, I could tell you. So appreciate the farmers.
Yeah, so those persons who actually want to go into the field of farming, don't feel ashamed. Because one thing that we did realize in this pandemic is how important farming was. Because some of the products that we love that is over-processed, that's on the supermarket shelves, we had no way of getting them.
So right now I could tell you the Ministry of Agriculture has that project, that program, where they're pushing a 7 crop, where they actually trying the best to reduce on the food import bill and the amount of food that we import from the international farming companies and businesses. So right now they're actually encouraging farmers to plant these produce that we actually import, and they also subsidize.
Can you give an example of some of these
for example,
produce?
Pineapple, the lettuce and this stuff like that.
We were importing lettuce?
Yes, we do.
You mean the romaine lettuce? Like you know, I really don't understand why we actually import that stuff. Like I actually used to grow romaine lettuce in a foil tray.
The thing is that most of us don't want to plant. Don't really want to plant, but the farmers now, they're taking the advantage right now, and the ministry has subsidized on some of the equipment as well. So for example, the sarin that you'll use to cover the greenhouse and stuff, so it's actually subsidized right now, so farmers could actually buy most of them on a reduced price. So right now the ministry and the government is actually creating avenues so farmers can actually feel comfortable and not spend too much on equipment, because farmers actually face a lot of challenges when they plant and when they farm.
Okay, all right, nice. Actually, as you mentioned, farming, with the program is youth empowerment, right?
Yeah.
And let's look at the farm in Babono that basically produces mushrooms.
Yes. Yeah.
Young guys, young family.
I could tell you I have a lot of friends who work there from my community.
And they were actually one of our biggest donors in the time of COVID.
Let me tell you, if you really want to have a farm job, you can go right there to work. I could tell you, these guys get it so good. I'm actually happy that they have.
You
the
looking
right
like you want to go
company.
and work there.
They're actually happy that they have that employer right now there. He treats his employee very good. I could tell his employee is very good. You could actually looking forward to go to work right at that farm right there. And I think they're number one in mushrooms in St. Lucia, right?
Yes, they are. And like, to be honest, like from traveling, from living in the US, from working on the cruise line industry, the texture of their mushrooms down here and the texture you get internationally ours is way on top.
And I could tell you, these young guys work there from Monday to Sunday. And
definitely.
Some of my friends, they actually go to work every single day. And I believe if they were not happy with the work or with that job, they would not make the commitment. The mere fact that they're happy, they're actually moving. And they also have a football team as well. Just
nice.
that business has a football team with the very same workers who work on that farm, and he actually sponsors every single one of them.
All right, so like I just said earlier on, if you are a young person and going into farming, you don't have to be ashamed of going into farming. You don't have to be ashamed of getting dirty, because guess what? I'm sure Winston can tell you, making soap, you will get dirty.
And let me tell you, we've been dirty. I could tell you, I worked on the cruise ship as a utility guard. Then I went to I went to storekeeping. Then imagine I went to Barbados for my visa for 6 days, and I worked construction for 4 days. I went for my visa for 6 days. I worked for 4 days doing construction. My father's a mechanic. I worked in mechanic industry. Every time I'm dirty, late night after 1, after 2, getting dirty, all in soufre, working on excavators, and I'm very dirty. But the thing is that you know where you want to be, where you're heading, and you're doing what you have to do to be there.
Yeah, so it's about going into various avenues. Never limit yourself. So not putting all your ideas into one direction. So for example, like I was giving Winston and them the joke last night. I made floating candles. I made soaps like long ago.
But the thing is that when you said that, I was like, try to imagine floating candles, like
the romantic nights, like when you go to the hotel and you pay for that romantic dinner, and then they give you that nice cylinder with the stones at the bottom and the water, and then you see the candle floating on top of the flower. These kind of candles.
Oh wow! Let me try to put my imagination into that. Okay.
Yeah, it was these kind of candles, and then I got tired of doing it. Like, it's for me, it's like, okay, if I've done it, then I've done it.
So why you got tired? You were not motivated to do it anymore?
It's not that I wasn't motivated. It was like, what's next?
Yeah, that's true.
For me, it was like, what's next?
How can you promote that? Who will buy it as well? And all that.
And then I end up finding myself, I was using all the floating candles.
For your own romantic stuff? Oh my Lord.
No, it wasn't for my own romantic stuff. I'm the type of person, okay, if you cannot spoil yourself, you cannot spoil anybody else.
That's true.
So you find that, okay, full the tub, you make your own shower bombs.
But you have to experience what you sell.
Exactly, but then I was experiencing it too much because I was using all the candles.
Well, as for me, the thing is that I started with, one day I bought CMOS. That's how I started. Let me tell you the story of how I started my soap business. I bought CMOS, and I bought like a pound of CMOS, The thing is, I put everything to soak. I was like, hey, that's so much CMOS. What I will do is CMOS. I have CMOS spread all over the place. So many jars of CMOS gel. What I'll do next? So I look in the mirror, I watch my hair. And like, you know what? Let me see if CMOS can be a living a detangler, because I'm always passing the sponge and not really all untangling my hair. So I tried the detangler and I left it for 1 minute. And afterwards it worked. Then I was like, okay, what's next? Let me try something else. I tried a leave-in conditioner with the CMOS. I did my stuff. I researched. And guys, I would tell you, YouTube, you can get every single thing that you want to know on YouTube. Every single thing is on YouTube. So I actually created a leave-in conditioner. I used it for 2 weeks. I was like, are you really? No one will buy that, I said, what else can I do with CMOS?
And you're so wrong, So many people buying that now.
Really? Wow. Okay, I'll have to go back to it.
Because actually, let me just point you right this. Let's stick a pin right there. The actual anti-aging detoxifying face mask. You can actually use it in your hair.
Wow. Okay.
You can use it in your hair, it detangles your hair, like, and you wash it out. And actually, since it's all natural products, like your hair texture, it changes.
Yeah.
So you have that. Wait, how do I? There are some of us, they calling us the Shive neg.
Like me, I'm directly on shit from Africa for sure.
I directly on shit from Africa, so they just drop you hair from a plane.
Yeah, you could see pure African. I'm right down from South Africa, the Zulu people. That's my ancestors right there.
Oh,
Tell you that.
I'm not getting involved in that. So yeah, and surprisingly, I experimented that on my mom because we have totally different hair texture. Like I always even have jokes. They book a tape in the hospital and all of that because I don't understand how.
To me, they have a special name for that when they change the child in the arm.
But they don't change the child. That's a problem. But I always give that joke because the lady, I think you'll have the same hair texture, and I experimented
Who has
it
the same hair texture?
with my mother.
Oh.
Let me tell you, I give that jokes all the time.
Let me tell you that my hair could take any style. The afro, I don't have to worry about afro. It stands right up.
Yeah, we can see it standing up. You didn't even hold it up the headphones. So yeah, and it literally changed her hair texture that she didn't have to put any moisturizer the following day. She you always have to moisturize. Nah, it was soft.
Yeah. So going back to how I started my soap business, I actually did that same thing. I used to live in conditioner for 2 weeks. It worked great and fine. So I was like, okay, I can do something else. Then I saw the thing that I had to live in a preservative. And I said, that's too much work to do that preservative. So then I went into the soaps. I said, hey, I don't have to worry about preservative because the lye solution, the sodium hydroxide, you could also call it caustic soda as well. You don't have to get it. It in itself is a preservative as well. So I did the soaps. It lasts like 2 to 3 years before expiring the soap. Yeah. So I started with my soaps and started exploring, doing my own formula. Sometimes I would say like 30 minutes or a whole hour doing a formula. Yeah.
No, Papa, I don't have all the time. I don't have so much. Like,
the other thing is, okay, for example, with my soap business and clothing line, my business name is Afric Trends, the spirit of royalty. So imagine I put in all my effort and all my soul into making that product. So it's and my spirit in it. So that's why I gave it that slogan, the spirit of royalty, and the clothing line will have feel of royalty.
Okay, I get what you're saying. It's not about not having the time. I think that's the wrong choice of words. It's about, I would basically create a recipe in my head within like 5 minutes. So I'll just sit down there, you come and talk to me about something, and then you see me just zoning out. And I get up and like, oh, I have a fantastic idea. Like I just came up with a silly idea, oh, I should make guava barbecue sauce.
And you start experimenting.
And I got the exact, I sit down, I picture how it will taste, what steps to use, what spices to use. I try and taste, like you don't have the guava eating, but you try and taste it in your mouth and how it will taste with the spices. And I go and experiment in the same way I have it in my head. That's how it come out. And
with me, with that kind of energy I put into my soaps, I've developed an attachment to my soaps. To be honest,
you're not using no other soap.
No other soap. My family don't use no other soap. If I have to buy a soap, it's just to do a little market research and compare as to that person use so many chemicals in the soap as of mine compared to mine, and don't come, hey, if you want to buy my soap, don't squeeze my soaps, don't, I call it in part of malmene.
You brought any of your soaps so as to see what they look like?
Yes,
okay, so let's see what they look like.
Let me get some.
Yes, let's see what they look like, because you heard a person what you all do not malmene soaps. But yeah, it's about basically interacting with other agro-processors, other entrepreneurs around the island, other persons who are into academics, and just creating that network, creating that support system, because you never know what you may end up finding out about yourself and about basically the industry that you want to go in. Sometimes a person is in a similar industry or a technique that they use in their industry, it can actually go smooth and well for you in your industry as well. So it's about creating that support system, getting into these support agencies. You can become a member of SEDU easily and just getting the correct information. When they have trainings, they will sign you up for those trainings. Getting registered also with Chamber of Commerce and getting the emails from Junior Achievers, registering for international programs and regional programs that you can also represent St. Lucia but also represent your brand, get your brand known out there, before we actually say that something is not working out for us. Sometimes it may just need that little push. And never be afraid to ask for support. Never be afraid to ask for help, because sometimes your business may not work out by itself, but reaching out to another entrepreneur, reaching out to somebody else, that person may not even have anything to do with entrepreneurship, but that person is a motivator. That person can speak better than you can. That person is more comfortable in front of the camera. So that person may be in academics and you may be the person who's making that product. But then guess what? Collaborating with that person can actually change the direction that your business and your product goes. It can make or break you. And the biggest disability in life is a bad attitude. So if you do have a bad attitude and you are into business and you're going on the customer service end of it, please remember that the customer word of mouth is actually the most valuable marketing tool you can ever find. Because you can spend hours marketing your product on Facebook, and that same customer that you may have given the bad attitude yesterday afternoon can come onto your Facebook page and make that one comment that can tarnish your reputation. And sometimes you have time delete that comment, but at least two people have time see that comment, and then it becomes a discussion. So we have to be mindful. The biggest disability in life is a bad attitude. The biggest competition you will have in life is yourself. The only setback you can have in life is yourself. You determine how far you can go and how far you're willing to go. So you are your biggest competition. You determine if you have confidence or if you're going to allow yourself to be stuck on the wall and not push. Ask for the help. Ask for the guidance. Never be afraid to say, I want to collaborate. Never be afraid to say that I want assistance. You go to the government agencies and they forget that you came. Guess what? Hundreds of people come into those agencies every single day. But if you're there constantly, you're there consistently, you like these, as soon as they see you, like, oh, okay, I forget. Like I used to do them that at Sado. Like honestly, when I just began agro processing, every single day I'm at Sado until I actually got what I wanted. Until now that I go there, each and every officer inside of Sado, they know me. To a point they're like, whoa, Troublesome, what you want today? So it's about ensuring that you're persistent. If you're not persistent on what you want, then you're not going to achieve everything that you can. Never settle for less. And that's very vital. If you're going to settle for less, then you're cheating yourself. It goes in academics as well. It goes into farming as well. Because okay, you want to basically plant a product, but then you think that it's going to take too much time. Or you're going to watch at the person across the fence from you and see, oh, that person own growing bigger, so I'll probably take that person on and try to plant it. But guess what? You never tried what you had. Sometimes yours is much bigger.
And that's what happens to the farmers right now. They're actually, everyone is planting cucumbers.
Oh
so you couldn't sell cucumbers for maybe $5 a parcel. Right now you have to bring it down to $1 because
actually,
competition is so
nice
high.
Cucumbers, $5.
Nice ones?
Nice cucumbers, like let me tell
and
you.
And there are other people selling for $2.
No. Them cucumbers I got there for $5 in One Report. One Report was.
How many?
No, in Parle.
How many?
I got like what, 7 cucumbers.
Yeah, maybe that's okay for $5. But
it was not these short cucumbers, these long cucumbers.
Wow.
Like,
my Lord.
Let me tell you. And like you can, when those DIY projects that you see, and then you can cut the cucumber in half and create a boat. I could have done all that.
There is, you said?
In Poale.
I will have to go down to Poale to get my cucumbers.
And let me tell you, they have some wonderful. Shout out to all those farmers on the southern end of the island. And those watermelons, as much as I don't eat watermelon, the smell of it was totally different too. Like you can smell the sweetness.
Well, shout out to those in Babono as well, because they have some in market.
Definitely.
So you're not leaving out any farmer.
We're not leaving out any farmers, but I'm just shouting out those I know of. Like for example, there is one in Saltibus. They've reached out to us in order to donate for relief supplies for St. Vincent. And let me tell you, I ended up getting one slice out of a pumpkin. That was so smooth that they're like butter.
The pumpkin?
That was so smooth.
You're exaggerating.
No, I'm serious. It was smooth like butter. Like when it cooked, that was smooth like butter. It was sweet, smooth, creamy. Like I think that was the best pumpkin I've ever had. That's not being how would you call it? I'm not being biased because I'm from Joselle area.
I believe that's why.
No,
I believe that's
it
why.
was actually, let me tell you, all the families that benefited from those pumpkins, they can tell you that it was the best pumpkins they've
You know what
had.
I'll have to do? I'll have to get some pumpkins from Babuno, and you'll get yours, and we'll have to compare.
Don't go and try that. I was living in Bawano. What you go and try there?
We'll have to compare.
What you try?
We'll have to compare.
No, on a serious note, like kudos to those farmers. But definitely, like I know for sure, I've had the
So what do you think
lettuce and
affected the taste? Is it organic?
more than likely, yeah.
Okay. So I hope that those in Babuno is organic as well.
Let's hope so. And yeah, I would encourage farmers to go the organic route. You can take the eggshells and pound them, and that can be your fertilizer as well. You can take your peels from your food, and that goes to young persons as well. Experiment, because what you may find, selling compost is actually a big business. Like you go online.
Yes, online, but how much can you produce?
How much can you?
Look
Okay,
at
so
it.
there was a friend of mine before she moved to Canada. She would take those, those barrels that they send food for us from the US. She would take one, like she put some screws in them so she can turn it, and she'd stuff it with food peels. So she'd ask all her friends to bring all their food peels and stuff, and she'd make that barrel.
But how long does it take
It took her about 3 weeks,
to?
but she has at least 4. She had at least 4 of
But
them.
how much does she sell? She don't sell?
She was selling before she moved to Canada, and that was big business for her.
So you make a profit out of it?
She was
Well,
making a
basically
profit
you
out
don't
of
buy
it because
anything.
because it was food waste.
Yes.
And you'd be surprised at how profitable it is for you, because in you doing it for yourself, instead of throwing away, you dig a little hole, or you take a nylon bag, you put it in it, and you ensure that you keep it hot enough that it sweats, and then you take that same money, or you add it to your garden, your little home garden, or whatever garden you want to add it to.
Well, the thing about it, some people they don't have the patience enough to do all that. They could just get some what's that, NPK, and just put that in fertilizer.
Yeah, but if we were talking about the healthy
Yeah,
route,
that's why I quoted some people.
yeah, but we're talking about the healthy route, and we're empowering young people to do things that would develop them. So if we're giving them the techniques, sometimes that person who doesn't want to do it, one person who listening to us now can turn it into a business, where that person who does not want to do it will just go to that person and get it.
Yeah, that's true. Because most times we don't have the time to do it, so I
Exactly.
just buy it from someone else. Yeah.
So-
So, for example, the salad I'm creating, you don't want to wake up every morning to do the salad. I could just actually sell the salads. So you,
Unless I don't taste salad, I'm not buying no salad.
you want to taste it first?
Yes, I want to taste salad, so you have to bring a bowl of salad for
Yeah,
us.
I'll give a variation, different variation.
I'm not even looking. The way you say that, the variation, I haven't looking forward to that. But anyway, so yeah, it's about being innovative, diversify.
And using technology to be innovative as well and
Yes,
creative.
but never limit yourself. Don't limit yourself. And like I said, collaborate as much as possible. Like right now, let me tell you, I'm working on this product. I have used
I'm already
it.
laughing.
No, it's not a laughing matter. I have used it. I have experimented. I have researched. And if I am able to bottle this product and label it properly, it will be the only one of its kind
In St.
globally. So that'll be the second product. Like, I'm excited until I can get it out there. And the base is CMOS.
Okay. And I realize a lot of people is going to the CMOS.
Yeah,
route
but they're
as
not
well.
being innovative.
Because, for example, with me, all my soaps contain CMOS. And the thing about CMOS contains the 92 minerals at the body, of the 106 minerals that the body needs. Yeah.
Yeah, but then you find that, yes, a lot of persons are going into CMOS, but what they're going into is what we call the CMOS beverages.
And just that.
And then you get peanut, coconut, the regular.
And the regular stuff. And most everyone is doing that same thing.
That's it. But then for me, when I do beverages, you'd find I do strawberry pineapple, I'll do beets,
But the gel,
I'll do ginger.
we have people who do the gel as well.
Yes.
I have a friend of mine, she's who did the capsule and everything else right now.
Yeah, so you find very few people doing it, but like, why experimenting
You
it?
can check out, guys, Melonade. She's doing some great stuff.
Okay.
The Simos
Is she
gel
on
selling
Facebook and
Simos.
Instagram?
Yes.
All right. So yeah, guys, it's about diversifying.
Yes.
So as soon as I'm done bottling that product, we'll feature it on a segment, one of our segments.
Yeah, so
Let's feature
so
Winston's
as for me,
soaps. What soap am I going to steal?
Afric Trends, the spirit of royalty, handmade soaps. When I say the spirit of royalty, and I use Afric Trends, so I couldn't say, to me, Africa Trends won't.
Oh, you're just trying to bring in your heritage and of it.
Yes.
Okay, so you could have put drop from a plane. You could have put drop from.
Yes, I chose to go with. Oh my god! I chose to go with Afric Trends. You understand? Because the thing about it, because I actually have the clothing line with it as well, and it comes with the French designer aspect. You know, the French people like to design a lot. So I say, you know what? I will just go with Afric Trends. So Africa Trends, as in what's trending, or what I will have be trending as well. So I also go with the spirit of royalty. I know everything Africa is correlated with royalty. So the handmade soaps, the tea tree oil, and Simos. I give it a little kind of, ocean kind of setting. So you'll see that's the ocean and that's the shore right now there. So I give it my kind of, and it actually has a tea tree oil scent. So I added Simos right in there, so it has a kind of sand. You could see the actual little dots that look like shells or whatever. So I gave it that look as well.
So do you think you'd probably want to experiment on the mold that actually has, like, okay, so you can get the ocean, like the wave spot, and then there is this mold that has the shell shaving part, so you get one half of the waves aspect. Do you think that's an experiment you might?
Well, that's something I can look forward to. Another one as well is the aloe and avocado soap as well. I kept that one plain. So most of my soaps I kept them plain. This one is the cocoa butter mango butter soaps. It's very nourishing. It's very good for eczema, softens and lubricates the skin. Imagine one customer messaged me this morning, oh my lord, I forgot to tell you that the soap is it's great. It keeps my skin moisturized and I love it. I need another one, but I also want to try the turmeric one as well. So I also have the turmeric one right there. Right then, we all know what turmeric does. It actually
definitely lightens your skin.
Lightens your skin and removes some of the blemishes, the acne, and also with that's the neem and charcoal. I didn't put it too black because it has neem, so I actually lightened the amount of charcoal I would use in that soap. Yeah, and also with the clothing line aspect as well. I started with creating some of my own African
I've been
style.
looking for, before you introduce that, so wear my African style bonnet for my locks. So because I have locks, I don't get in bonnet. What kind of thing is that? Yeah,
so I started with the bonnets. The thing is that I have my own tailor right now, and he's actually, everything is handmade. All my products are handmade. So he's actually doing some shirts right now, but it was too late. So maybe next Wednesday I'll bring the shirts so that St. Lucian, young St. Lucians can actually see and be motivated and start their own as well, or buy and support. With that, I'm doing my own African, I would say, dashiki style, or just African style of fabric style of clothing.
So you
as well.
insist on staying in Africa. You know you're in St. Lucia, right?
I know in St. Lucia, but I'm starting from my heritage and we're coming down to St. Lucia. So I will be doing I will be doing the madras and
So why you didn't study the madras?
But to me the madras is not really ours, The madras is not really ours.
You do realize
it's more of La Marguerite and La Rose. That's ours. The floral stuff, that's ours, So that's what we should be more pushing instead of that. To me,
yeah. So then you should actually feature. That's just me being troublesome. People. You should have actually pushed our actual culture and our heritage through your clothing line first as royalty. You understand?
No, I started from the basis of where
you think you came from.
Yes, where I believe I came from. So you understand? So the spirit of it, because remember the spirit actually travels far. So if I give something the spirit, the slogan, the spirit of royalty or feel royalty, that means I started from let's go right back. And we're coming right down to St. Lucia and heritage. So that's some of the first bonnets. It's in stock right now. Guys, place your order. And so just place your order. So
you want to get the prices of the soaps and the bonnets, so persons can get an idea, or if they would like to do, probably, I'm not sure if you have the Father's Day package going on, or what you have going.
All my soaps are $8.
Okay.
All my soaps are $8. The bonnet starts from 25 to 45,
Okay.
different sizes, and I could actually custom make your own bonnet for you as well.
Okay, all right, nice. So, guys, we are going to go into a short break, and we're going to feature a local artist.
One of our very own.
For now, we're going to go into who I am as a St. Lucian first, and then we'll feature another local artist, which is Just Us.
I am she.
Yes.
I
so
am he.
let's go into
I am me.
I am a St.
I am
Lucian,
we.
and then we're going to go
Mwesilu.
into more information when we come back.
As sure
from
as
our
the
short
morning
music.
sun will blanket and then engulf the hills and the valleys, I know I will persevere. I always have and I always will. Paski and me that have that. For decades, I have awoken early. With the morning sun on my brow, I have collected my things, my tea, my cat clue and my fork. Me and my sons, my daughters, my dog and my mite. And we have walked. We have walked and we have run. We run the many miles it took to reach that place where the soil was rich. That place where we were to plant. That place where what we plant would grow. I know the smell of that earth all too well. I know the feel of that earth, for I am that earth.
Well, I'm a farmer. I've been a farmer for the longest while. I was an extension officer. The fact that I'm growing food to supply the nation, to give the people around, that alone makes me feel very good about the farming.
That fertile fortress from whose bosom we have filled our bellies. We have peddled it too. We sold it, green, golden and grand, beautiful and majestic in the midday sun. For perhaps always see, you work the land on which you are born, and that is how you grow. And grow we did, he, she, me, Nutut.
Right behind me there, where I'm sitting there, is the press. That's where after you harvest the cassava, you grit it, you press it, you put it in a bag, so you have that process, you press it. And after it is pressed, you take it to the house where you sieve it. You have a sifter where you sieve it fine, and then you put it in the caron. That's the platin. That's what we use to make the fluorine.
Mama told me ever since when that life is neither predictable nor always rosy. So, as the green faded and the roads lay forgotten, I lifted my eyes to the east, for I still can see. I see the sea beautiful. It is purple, golden, green, fish and simos? Simos, yes. Healthy, hearty, handy, just in time too, because it will go well with my chocolate that I with my own hands learn how to make from my own cocoa. I will pursue them. I will endeavor. I will not stop, because I will persevere, and I will grow. Nutut, she, he, me, we. And all the while I keep singing. I sing and I dance too. Sometimes my middle even split. And while I have found fame in sports, I am also known for my service. So as I jump, I kick, I bat and I bowl, I protect and I serve and I teach. And yes, I am still running. I run, not just because I can, and God knows I can, but because it reminds me too that from Prale to the Chumasi Bridge, everything in between is me. All the work is mine, all the joy is mine, and the tears, they are mine too. I still have strength, I still have pride, and although I have changed with the seasons, my essence persists, my culture resists and fights for its life. Parce que nous toutes ces mêmes. I am he, I am she, I am me, I am we. Now this is 2021, unprecedented, a time of uncertainty that's understood, a time of fear and of loss, but also a time for faith. I will lean on that which we have already built. He will stand. She will rise, we nous toutes. Petit épigouin, jaune et rouge. Nous toutes ces chrétiens, we will do it. We will ride that wave, not just because we want to do it, but because we dare to do it together.
We're happy that Mr. Birch will be able to serve us to the extent and serve us very well, which I see to myself that's someone that will be able to work for us.
Mr. Birch, I am wishing you the best of luck in the upcoming election. We love you, we are there with you, we are supporting you. And what can I say? I wish the United Workers' Party all the best in that election.
Thank you, Butch. Thank you, my Prime Minister. We all love you.
Yes.
You have a vision. God give it to you.
Yes.
And you is the best Prime Minister we ever get in St. Lucia.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, for Chida Belrose, I don't have no problem with her. I think she's the right person in that time for the right job and to do the right thing, what we always wanted.
We've moved security from 112 to 119 million. We've moved youth and sports from 4.7 million to 7.1 million, and that does not include the money at NLA. We've moved equity from 54 million to 62 million, and we've moved agriculture from 25 million to 28 million. Mr. Speaker, this is where the money has gone. We have not backed down from our responsibilities to the people of this country, and no, we ever will, because we have an ambition to build a new St. Lucia for everyone in this country.
You, but your last name is about us. Legacy. There's power in your name. Power in your name. McDonald's is a last name. Abercrombie and Fitch, last names. Armani is a last name. Baskin Robbins is a last name. Chrysler is a last name. Fisher Price, Gucci, Hennessy, Harley Davidson, Hilton, Honda, Kohl's, Kraft Foods, Lowe's Movie Theater, Marriott is a last name. Maybach is a last name. Nordstrom is a last name. Pillsbury is a last name. Porsche is a last name. Procter & Gamble, 2 last names. Rolls Royce, Charles Rolls Henry Royce, last names. Turner Broadcast System, Ted Turner, last name. Versace, last name. Wells Fargo, Henry Wells, William Fargo, last name. Walgreens, last name. Wrigley's, last name. Welch's Grape Juice, last name. Here you are, you think you're buying a product. You are not buying a product, you're buying a name. You think you're wearing a product. Hey, look at this product. No, you're saying look at this family. And what you don't know is while you're making every family rich, you're making yourself broke. So you done went to one family called Wells Fargo and got $200,000 so you can go to another family called Rolls Royce so you can give them money and get yourself a car so you can go back to the hood and see the Joneses and say, look at what I got. Meanwhile, Wells Fargo, their family's sitting up being rich, and Harley Davidsons and Rolls Royce are being rich, and the Joneses are sitting there holding up people's stuff saying, look at what we did and we broke. What if I told you that your blessing is attached to your name? That part of the reason why you're not wealthy yet is because you keep trying to make Yolanda wealthy? You keep trying to make Tasha wealthy. What if you made Johnson's wealthy? What if you started thinking about your kids? What if you started thinking about your legacy? What if God started dropping Canaan and opening up windows of heaven? Because now you're not just thinking about you, you're thinking kingdom. There are some people who are attached to you who say, Mama, can you do something with this name? There's some people who say, Dad, can you do something with this name? Maybe God gave you the name to change and reverse some of the stuff that the name meant one day. I wish there was somebody in this room that said my name might mean one thing right now, but I promise after today this name's getting ready to change. I promise after today everybody's gonna want my last name. I'm here to let you know you are a curse breaker. You're thinking kingdom. You are not just getting married, you're breaking a curse. You are not just graduating from college, you're breaking a curse. You are not just getting out of high school, you're breaking a curse. You are not just saved, you're breaking a curse. And everybody around you is about to be blessed because of what God's getting ready to do in your life. I don't know what my name meant before I got here, but I know it's going to mean before I leave. You got a legacy. Power in your name.
So let's go back to our young solutions, and going back to what I said about the land. And you actually see he spoke about the car as well. So you actually buying most of the time you're actually buying the last name, Young Solutions. And I don't know if much Young Solutions ever recall Checkapes show where they said Kititu. You understand? And English say, hey, we need share. You understand? So
I remember that. I don't remember that.
It's you right now as a young person to leave a legacy behind for people who's coming behind you. You understand? And do something right now so you will be called. You will not be just be in a tomb and everyone will forget about you. No. We want to have a statue of you. You see, Serenity Park, we want to name it after you. We want to name it after Gina. We want to name it after Hannah. We want to name our schools after the great young people who have actually contributed tremendously in our lives or in our society. You know, so for example, following the footsteps of Sir John, Sir Arthur, Derek Walcott, you know, so we have things named after them. So you as a young person, it's now for you to get up and do what you have to do, make the tremendous effort to be determined and follow your dream and your goals. And don't let anybody deter you from your goals. People who don't support you, use that as a fuel to keep moving forward. We need to leave a legacy behind. And that stigma about young people are lazy. No, we're not lazy. We're not lazy. We can do a lot. Trust me.
Yeah, so I think Winston said it perfectly. It's about what legacy are you going to leave? Are you going to leave the legacy of I tried but I could not? Or are you going to leave the legacy of I tried and I excelled? And like I basically said in the beginning, never put all your eggs in one basket. You never say, okay, that I'm going to do this and I'm going to just put my all into it and not think of a plan B. Because, okay, so as a certified chef, if I basically said that I'm only going to be a chef, then guess what? As the industry closed the pandemic, I would not have been able to do anything. But yeah, I'm also a trained bartender, mixologist, motivational speaker, philanthropist, poetry writer.
And that too as well. And people remember you when you try, even though you were not successful. Definitely. But someone else will say, you know what, I'll follow in Winston's footsteps because he tried. He wanted to do that. He wanted that to be a success. He wanted that for St. Lucia. So people actually follow you because you tried, even though you failed. But people actually remember that you tried, and they will continue in your footsteps.
And maybe the person who continued in your footsteps may excel. So you just have placed that block just in that right path for that person to actually put their foot on, for them to get where they need to be. So sometimes it's not always about how far you can push yourself, but how far you're going to push and ensure that you get to where you need to be, and also pull persons along with you. And too often, especially young persons, and I've seen that happen a lot, is that when we get to where we want to be, business-wise or financially, we tend to forget the persons who assisted us, or we tend to forget those persons who are behind us trying. never forget those persons who are around you. Never forget those persons who are behind you coming up, because sometimes you may just end up right back down that drain.
That's the thing.
And then when these same persons get to the top and they don't look for you, then we have the worst to see.
Yeah, to me, Lucky Dube has a song like that. Be careful of who you on your way up, or something of that sort. Lucky Dube has a song like that.
Let me see if I find that song.
Lucky Dube has a song like that. Yeah.
Let me see if I find that song. But yeah, it's about.
So yes, guys. So we as young people, we need to try our best to leave a legacy behind for our kids. I know we came from that golden age where most of our forefathers were like, hey, you know what, most of the children have to work for what they want, you know, but you don't see the Jews do it. You don't see most of the Syrians they don't do it. They don't kick the kids out of the house. They work with the kids. They try their best to open a business for the kids. They open a business with and I would applaud the Syrians for that. I would applaud the Syrians.
Yes, but that's actually a culture we have not learned to inherit.
That's the thing.
It's also, if we go up to the Egyptian times, when the tallest pyramid, do you actually think that the person who started at the bottom of that pyramid actually saw the pyramid finished built?
No, not at all. It was a generational thing.
Exactly. So unless we understand that, we need to start building ourselves for generations.
And that goes back to the point where I said, hey, even though Winston tried, he gave a foundation. He started with that foundation. I need to continue that so we can have a success. So it will be a generational thing that, hey, my family was succeeded, even though my forefathers, my great-great-great-grandfather did not succeed at that, but my son will one day.
Yeah, and it actually, if we look at it in that perspective, if you realize that a lot of those products that we enjoy on the supermarket shelves, those nice brand products, do we actually know that they're family owned?
Yes.
That it started from the great-great-great-great-grand, and now it's just the great-great-great-grand, the smallest little great-grand, trying to just change the look of that product
and give them more modern type
they
of feel.
just flowing with the times and doing the whole branding and redesigning. But then we need to learn to build that. So for example, we had one of those big businesses in St. Lucia that basically was on legacy, Dubule Bottling Company, and it started off with their father.
Wow.
And all the children worked in the factory until they made their deal with the brewery, and still they are involved in the day-to-day runnings of the bottling factory. So it's about building that legacy, and are you willing to ensure you're able to pass on the baton?
But the thing is that the parents also make the foundation and pave the way as well. So if your parents don't want to pave the way, how can you continue?
Okay, so
most times you find that some parents will be like, hey, you're not able to do what I'm doing, you know, you should go and look for something else to do, you know, that's not for you. But hey, you can actually teach me, I'll learn just to continue what the family has started.
Let's look at it as on a basic, let's go back to farming. If a lot of our farmers had that mindset, and we're going into the collaborative part of it. So for example, the farmers in Babono, if the farmlands are close enough, they collectively come together, they brand themselves as one farm, right? And then you find that it's more feasible to distribute. They'll be able to export. So there would be more volume going out, and there would be more stuff going into the soil. So that then creates more revenue.
So it's almost like a group farming or something.
Correct.
To me, there's a special name called that.
There is. For example, even the name IGA. IGA is not to say it's a company, like a big brand company that's just producing all these products. It's actually agro processors from around coming together, collectively collaborating.
And that's why I always tend to encourage young people to come together. For example, graphic designers come together with musicians, agro processors. Y'all can create something tremendous. Imagine maybe all of y'all come under one company and just burn that company. How successful y'all can be together. I realize a lot of young people want to do it by themselves. They have the pride, they don't want to ask for help, they just want to do it by themselves. But come together.
Yeah, but then you find that I don't think we can fully blame young people, because I remember growing up, they tell you that be careful who you ask for help.
That's true.
And I was taught funny thing. Yeah, growing up with my grandmother, I was taught, even if you go by somebody's house and they give you water on your first day, say no thank you. You hungry, your belly boiling, say no thank you. Because you don't know what that person is going to say behind your back.
That's true.
Now, if we are basically taught that notion, and that's the mentality that we have, do you know that it's going to be very difficult for our young persons to collaborate?
You guys they came from the forefathers.
Exactly.
You're right.
So then we cannot fully blame our young people, and as us young people, we understand where they're coming from. And since people have the notion that the young people are not serious, they're there to have fun, they're there to just make money and spend money.
I totally disagree with that.
Yeah, but then that's a notion that's out in society.
The thing is that you cannot blame Peter and for Paul, the wrong that Paul have done. You cannot blame Peter for that.
Have you been in have you been around the communities for you to hear the ageable people speak of young people?
Let me tell you, I have been, especially in my community of Babono. I'm actually from there, and the thing about it, I believe that young people, they have the talent, they can do stuff, and that's what I'm trying my best to get these talents from these young people. And I can speak from the group of people I've been hanging out around with, and I grew up with from Gara. Most of these guys are working. I remember growing up, most of the young people in Gara, they were unemployed, and now some of them actually, most of them doing something for themselves to have a bread, and some of them right now actually amazed by what they're doing right now. And there's one guy. He actually wants to have his YouTube channel, and he's actually he's a great footballer. He does joinery, does furniture and stuff like that. He has a farm. So imagine that guy grew up from right down there, no help from parents, no father, no his mom, no help. He just self-sufficient on his own. Growing up, never really went to. He spent like 2 weeks in primary school, and right now he's doing great for himself. I could tell you that, and he keeps on excelling and succeeding in everything that he's doing. Although it's challenging for him every day, but he's trying his best. So these kind of young people you can use to inspire other young people.
Most definitely.
And these older people who would say, "Hey, that guy is not good. He did that in the past," but let the past, most of the time you have to let the past be the past sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes we learn from our experiences in the past.
So right
and
now,
it's about creating rehabilitation. So then we go back to that point.
So right now he's doing his best, and right now he has so many of the young guys who look up to him. He looks up to him, and I could say, "Him, I'm actually proud of him."
Yeah, so even persons who write music, are they given enough opportunities to showcase their talent? Persons who draw, we have persons who basically draw, and we look up to and we order all those drawings online.
Let me interject on that one. I would recall that this administration, this current government, have tried the best to help some of the creative industries. Even before COVID, you realize that we try our best to intercheck some of these local artists to sing, even at Solar, right, in the jazz as well. And also, we actually supported most of the promoters who actually had the actual, I would say, fets around St. Lucia, and we interjected most of the studios. We actually helped with some of the studios around St. Lucia, and these guys should be grateful that this current administration has helped a lot of these guys who are music producers and all around St. Lucia.
Yeah, most definitely. I can remember the Prime Minister basically supporting and pushing the movement of, especially the Dennery segment, as we're well known on the map for.
And even before COVID, most of these guys actually helped them. They got the visas, and they actually went to the US to collaborate with other artists and actually see how the US life is, and also perform at what we call the great and famous Labor Day in the US. So let's not forget what this administration has done for young people, and we are continuing to create avenues and push young people. The thing is that most times we don't talk about it. We talk about most of the things that we maybe fail at, but most of the things that we are most successful at, people don't really come out and talk about it, but it's actually there, it's actually happening.
Yeah, so then that's even a good initiative, because this program is basically bringing the news to the young people, bringing that information out there. So probably what we can do for maybe the next program or in 2 weeks' time is try to get the Minister for Creative Industries to come in, because we talk about the artists who are singing. So those artists who are drawing, we need to ensure that they are not forgotten as well. Those persons who do poetry writing, and I realize that some of our ceremonies, our official ceremonies in St. Lucia, we now feature poetry writers. What is the avenue that we're taking to assist those persons? So maybe we can pick the brains of the minister a bit on the follow-up segment on creative industries to find out what avenues are available for those persons in the creative industry to ensure that they are not left behind, but also they're going to be embodied, they're going to grow and develop, and to ensure that they can also incorporate what we call our heritage and our culture that's slowly dying.
And that's what that's what I'm actually trying to push.
The African thing?
Not just the African thing, but heritage and culture.
I'm just pulling your leg.
Culture, and that's for me. And as you can see, I have my shirt. I love shirts like that. So things that look actually tropical and
you fit right in Hawaii. You know that?
Yes, that's true. But Hawaii is actually tropical as well. So
yeah, that's why I said you fit right in. Mm-hmm. All you're missing is your little thing around your neck
and my hat as well.
Oh my God, he wants to put a whole hat.
And my straw hat.
But yes, so it's about ensuring that we provide you the information. We're also going to try to get either the director or some representative for Invest St. Lucia for us to speak on the new program that's out, the Boost Incubator program as well, because we also have an incubator program which is on social entrepreneurship. I am also a part of that program under Chamber of Commerce. So that program is basically showcasing, I think that's the first leg of this program. So there are going to be other opportunities where you basically learn to incorporate the social aspect.
And also we can actually get a young person who's into the agro processing, someone who does creative arts or performing arts or whatever, to come and speak on and inspire other young people on how successful they have been as well.
Yeah, I think that's a great opportunity. So if you are listening and you would like to be on the program, you can give us a call. You can reach out to Sky FM. They will pass on the information to us. And let's take it from there to give you the exposure that you need. Get into dialogue with you and just basically pick your brains as well to find out where would you like to go in the long term.
And you can actually use that opportunity to promote your business and actually tell us how you face the challenges and all within COVID, before COVID and within COVID.
Yeah, it'll be interesting for us to get a young entrepreneur that has survived the pandemic.
Yes.
And what creative idea that they came up with in surviving this pandemic. Because for everybody, even for the big businesses, they are crying of the harsh reality of what they had to, because nobody basically was prepared.
Even for me, I started my soap business through COVID because all throughout the lockdown, nothing doing.
Also, you have experimented.
I had my backyard farm, like I said, and we were just doing
So you sell anything from the backyard farm?
I eat everything.
You eat everything?
I eat my family, I eat everything.
Boy, you're that greedy people, eh?
But it was great. It flourished, and
so you stopped the backyard farming?
Yeah, you cannot stop for now. So right now I'm just in the soups and I'm going to make clothing.
Yeah, but you shouldn't stop.
But I'm only one person.
Yeah, so like here I go to give you pressure now. You want to prepare salads to sell. You're going into the whole healthy eating. You want to know exactly what goes into your body, but here you stop the farming.
That's true. But I can also support another young farmer who does.
Yes, I understand that. Okay, so here's what you're going to do. You can start your small herb farm, and then you can get the vegetables from another young farmer.
So instead of picking my grandmother herbs, no?
Yes, instead of... Oh, that's what you're doing? Granny, you ain't that? Why are you picking the lady herbs?
Yeah, for example, if I'm ill, I will go to her backyard and get stuff like... I don't really know the English names. Something like, I know there's Tabak Chab, they have Lafayette Siro, they have Gopopo, you know, all these things. They have Lachiwat.
Yeah, the Bevin Lachiwat and all that.
Lachiwat, you know. Yeah.
Actually, Bevin Lachiwat made its name, you know, during that whole COVID thing, because people who got COVID, they were telling you to boil it and make water and stuff. So it actually made its name.
Yeah. So I know most of the herbal stuff, and I can actually run to, and you know, imagine I have a doctor friend of mine, he don't really believe in the herbal stuff. He's like, but you don't know how much dose you're taking, you know, you're not measuring, but you don't know, you know. So I'm like, really?
Okay, did our forefathers measure before?
No. Hey, person, look, that's all. It's like when black people season food, most times, like you, if you're recipe right now, it's all in your head. So just know the amount of salt you put in the
Yeah, it's all in my head. So you see, okay, so let's go back to that. Yes. So the young people, yes, I was giving you all blows and not following my footsteps. But since they drop him from the plane, Mr. Winston, they just drop him from the plane from Africa. Right? So we're going back into our African
in
roots.
that time we had no plane, you know.
So what they drop you from?
No planes. They had no planes.
How are you so sure they didn't have planes?
No planes. Really? Maybe some other form of planes. Anyways, let's continue. Let's not stray away.
Anyway, so yes, before they did not used to measure anything, they did not used to write it down, and yet still they remembered all the herbal medicines. They remembered all the.
But to me, all alphabets, everything started in Egypt, in Africa. To me, all that measurement and thing came from the same. You spoke about the pyramids, right?
I mentioned the pyramids.
Yeah. So one block wasn't wasn't too big, wasn't too small. It was just perfect right there. How did they do it? But that's for another segment.
I don't know. You see, that's the same thing. They just knew, because even for some of those seasoned farmers, they would not be able to write on paper for you, but they will be able to tell you logistically what plant will grow, what time of year, and everything. So maybe our forefathers did not know nothing about the alphabet you trying to mention there.
No, I don't believe that. I believe they had some form of. They had a system. They had a system. They had in Egypt, yes, they had a system.
I don't think so.
And at that time, they practiced schematics. They had a system. They had a whole lot of system where the Moors came from when they went there. But that's for another.
You swear you was there, you know.
That's for another segment.
You was there, Winston. You was there.
Well, based on the history, yes. That's for another segment.
You was there, Winston. Winston say yes. Unbelievable.
But the thing is that my spirit is somebody from that side. But that's for another segment. Let's not go. That's too deep.
It's definitely not an easy road. Anyway, so yes, not to sway too far from our discussion. So, for example, before I even go into our examples, I would give you what the new program from Bank of St. Lucia is. So, if you are in business for about 3 months and you are going into, basically, maybe you just lost your job due to the pandemic, and you have tried something and it's really successful in the 3 months, and you are able to do bookkeeping. I remember we touched on bookkeeping early on, and then we end up going to a whole other topic. So yes, bookkeeping, when I say bookkeeping, I mean that you are able to write down and control your debts and your expenses, and you're not doing what we call break even. When I say break even, I'm saying that you're not, when you sell your product or your service, you're not just making the amount of money that you put in. So you're basically not making any profit. If you're breaking even, then you need to go back to the drawing boards and figure out a new solution, a new plan on how to make your business profitable.
Or maybe you're not selling yourself at a higher cost. You know, so to me, I believe you should raise the price of what you're selling. As oftentimes we know that most solutions don't want to pay for something. So
yes.
Don't, and that's a mistake we make. Don't bring down your price just to suit other people. Most of the times, you don't really have to bring down the price. Show them the quality, and someone will buy it. Someone will buy it.
Yes, but then you understand that the argument out there is that St. Lucian products are always cost more than the imported products.
That's true.
Now, what we need to analyze is the costing for packaging, the costing for labeling, and so forth.
And we're not doing it at a large scale, so most times people can actually go cheaper or bring down the price when they're doing it at a very large scale.
So some of us who do agro processing, who actually make a product, you would have to pay about $1.25 for a label. So by the time you take the costing for the label, sometimes the bottling is $3.60 for a bottle. So you're talking like $5 just for the packaging.
So $5 plus your
plus all the raw materials that you had to put in, plus the labor, and plus the indirect cost. So I think that's something we also need to speak on in another segment, where we actually divulge into breaking down of how you get a cost price. Because a lot of us sell ourselves short, and probably that's why we're not making sufficient, because we forget to put the indirect costs. And when I say indirect costs, we're talking about rent, utilities, gas, insurance
you
and
need,
so
you
forth.
need to break it down.
Yeah, but then some of our young persons coming into the business, they will not know that.
So as for example, let me draw a reference. Use with t-shirt printing, especially screen printing. I'll do the screen for you. It would cost like $40 to do the screen, and to print maybe about $10, right? So if you want to put one shirt, most likely it will be like maybe $45 thereabout, because depends on the size of the screen, between $40 to $50. So we'll charge you maybe $50 to $60 to just do one shirt. But imagine you use that same screen to do 40 shirts. So right now I'm charging you for just one screen and $10 just to apply the ink and on 40 shirts. So it's cheaper. So imagine if you had 10 different shirts or 40 different shirts. So you know every shirt will be $60 because you use 40 different screens. But the thing is that when customers come now and try to explain that to them, but why are you charging? But hey, you actually pay for your screen. And that's what it is. So we actually, as customers, we need to explain to some of our buyers why our service is so expensive.
Yes, most definitely. So it's young persons, we are not going to leave you empty-handed and not provide you that information on how to do the breakdown cost and so forth. We may try to probably get some templates onto the screen so you understand what we're speaking on in terms of getting your cost price. So back to what I'm saying, when you bookkeeping, you always keep everything written down. Even if you spend 10 cents, you write it down. Because what you'd find is that the financial institutions would now ask you, do you have a business account? No, you don't have a business account. Do you have a bookkeeping system? From the time that you can show them that you have a bookkeeping system, you may be at the point where you just started up and you are where you create the product, you sell it, and then the money goes right back into the business. They understand that it's a new business. They will consider providing you that loan.
So for example, the young farmers as well, to be approved for, I would say, concession, you have to show a record as to how much you're making annually. And if you cannot show these records, you won't be approved. You understand? So maybe about between $50,000 to maybe $100,000 a year. But $50,000 a year, you have to show that, hey, I'm making $50,000 a year, so I can be approved for a concession for the farmers. So you get concession. And most young farmers, they believe just to get the van or whatever. No, there's so many other things you can get: the equipment, the produce, the seeds or whatever on concession. If you can order your stuff, it's right here.
All right. So Bank of St. Lucia would be willing to give you $100,000 of loan if you are at the stage of 3 months startup, and you'd have a period of 3 to 5 years thereabout to pay it back. But it all depends on bookkeeping, because they do understand that it's a newly formed business of 3 months existing. That's the youngest that they would accept, 3 months, and then you go on. If you have your business from up to 2 years, I think that's what was relayed in the training, for 2 years and up, then you'd be able to get $200,000.
Yes.
So there are financial institutions willing to work with us as young persons into the whole providing a service or providing a product or going into academics. We also have SLDB, which is St. Lucia Development Bank, with what we call the YEF program. They are willing, which is Young Enterprises Equity Fund, and it basically focuses on agriculture, fishing, bridging and construction, express payment services, education, lending, professional development, housing, mortgage, services, tourism, and industry. All these fall under the YEF program. And one of the essential things that they would ask you, and also for Bank of St. Lucia, is that you have a business plan. Now that's where
and that's the case with me. I never developed a business plan.
Why? A business plan takes a day to form,
Yeah, I can do it, but the things that I have always started from myself, so I never really actually develop a business plan to go and get a loan, maybe from an agency for business or whatever,
I had that mindset before Winston.
Or help from some parents, so maybe some parents, from my parents. Yeah, so I never actually, even Elon Musk said that he have never developed a business plan. He always went straight up to just having the business.
Yeah, but I would encourage young persons to develop a business plan. That would basically keep you on track. It may seem like it's a lot of work, but it is an essential part of having a business. It's an essential part of being a business owner, and especially if you're looking to have persons working for you. You'd be able to reference yourself back to your business plan on how you manage that business. You can incorporate what trainings you plan on incorporating into your business. You can put in achievements. So every time that your company or your business has an achievement, you go back and you update your business plan.
Because I always believe that, hey, one day I can hire some people to do that for me. That's just me. That's my own personal philosophy.
He's taking the easy way out.
It's not the easy way out.
Of course it's the easy way out.
Okay, I'll be like, hey, I'm presenting an opportunity to you right now. I have that business, I have this business, it's flourishing, I'm making money from it, I'm giving you a job, handle that for me. You get that amount of money, and the more you push, the more money you make. That's it. So
in other words, you're creating a revenue stream for somebody else.
So that's that business.
Okay, well, if you want to look at it in that way, but there are persons who are willing to write business plans for persons, and it starts, I think, from what, $300?
Yes.
All the way to a very detailed business plan with graphs and all of that, up to $800, $1,000, $1,500. So it all depends on what type of business plan that you would look for. If you're going into academics, do the research. Some persons, you're going into academics, but you heard of that school is a good school, but guess what, there's so many other schools. Do that necessary research. See what programs are available, what you can get yourself into. And if you can give your time in social impact, guess what, by the time you start off, if you are going into the trade of entrepreneurship, by the time you are fully established as an entrepreneur, you will find yourself well seasoned in the social aspect. So it will all be about the slow moving water of incorporating that into your business, that you have established yourself as a person, and persons will respect you a lot more from the time that they see you out socially giving back, assisting. You may not have to give anything monetary value or material, but from the time persons can actually see that you're giving your time, your effort, they will respect you as a young person.
Yes.
Because too many times that we have given the persons the notion that the young people, they don't care.
And don't mind the laughter. Most people, they will say, hey, you walk in, you're taking the bus.
I like taking the bus.
You're pushing, you know. Hey, he's crazy, he's going crazy, she's going crazy. What she's doing? But they will see you sweating, you're laughing. Hey, what he's doing, you know. Just keep on moving, keep on going forward, keep on doing what you're doing. One day you'll see the light in everything that you're doing.
You're creating your legacy.
Yeah, create your legacy. Create your last name. Create your last name. For example, if I stop buying soaps, I use my own soaps now.
Yeah, he said that he uses his own soaps now. Yeah, I agree with you, and I totally agree with you on that. So it's about how far you're willing to go, how far you're willing to push, how passionate you are.
And one thing I'm actually considering my own clothing. So just now I'll stop buying clothing from other people, so I'm actually wearing my own clothes in the future. That's what I'm planning on doing.
So you make jeans too?
Not really, I don't really need to wear jeans.
So you're going to wear only cloth
but if the tailor can do I can get the jeans material, he can do it. Yes.
So yeah, as you said,
and my tailor is an African.
Oh Lord, that is that's why. That's definitely why. So anyway, as he went into the whole fashion aspect, I think next week we are going to feature very interesting young lady. She is into the eco services part of everything, and she basically focuses on recycling clothing.
Wow.
So you know that clothes that you love so much and you never want to let go of it, and it have that little hole, and you know people are going to laugh at you. She'll bring it back to life.
To me, that's especially the cut-up jeans. That's a trend right now. That's a style.
No, but there are some things that you know it wash off, it worn off, and you just can't wait.
But especially Kanye West is actually pushing that whole clothing with all the cut-ups and this thing, the shirts, the long sleeve, and the same people used to laugh at you before. He's selling $3,000 US now, $5,000 US.
Exactly. So it's about creating your trend, but she basically upcycles anything. So she can take your shirt and turn it into a handbag, a head bandana, and a face mask. Free items out of one shoot. So I think next week is actually great. Maybe you can pick her brain a little bit. You can have a little dialogue and see what you may learn, or maybe you all might end up collaborating.
Yeah,
so
true.
Like I said, if you are a young person and you want to be on this program, Youth Empowerment, you can reach out to either myself or Winston, and we will be happy to get you onto that program and get you the exposure that you need, and for persons to basically find out how you started, or if you're in startup phase or you're in idea mode, you can also reach out to us for you to be on this program, Youth Empowerment. And we will continue to bring you all the information from all the other agencies. We're also going to bring you the ministers, so you can hear firsthand of what these agencies have in store for us as young persons in either one of those fields. And what I'm basically excited and interested in is to know what is actually going or coming up for creative industries, because this is vital. It basically highlights who we are as St. Lucians, who we are as a people. And when I say St. Lucia, I'm not saying a country, because a country is only, St. Lucia is only the name, but St. Lucia is formed by us, the people. So unless we understand that, then I don't think we are ready for us to empower and to be where we need to be. Continue to be passionate, continue to be motivated and determined. And for sure, we are going to be back here next week, where I'll not trouble Winston next week, I promise. I'll not even talk next week. I'll give Winston the seat over here next week, and I'll sit on the other side to ensure that I don't trouble Winston next week.
It's okay, I'm allowed you back.
Yeah, I'm allowed you back. So yes, guys, it's about having fun. It's about ensuring that we are not what you call all the talk and not having some laughter, not interacting with each other.
And
but
being uptight, we have to loosen up. We are youth.
That's what persons don't understand. Young people, they don't get the information. Our attention span is kind of off.
So for example, you bring in young people to a meeting, speaking for 3 hours, just speaking, talking, speaking, and nothing fun, no brain teaser, nothing. Oh.
No, they have some brain teasers. It's ridiculous to wait.
That's true. You're right.
So better they just don't give it. That's no blows to the facilitators out there.
It's just we come into a meeting, young people, bring some food at least.
So just now, I putting him on the spot now, peeps? Where the food, where the drinks, where everything. Yes, guys.
So listen up, guys. Listen up. It's a youth show, youthful, and
correct.
We have the adrenaline. We have.
So we're shouting out. Shout out to the ministers. When you all come in, please do not come to be uptight, because we'll start to make you laugh. We'll give a little joke
and don't come empty-handed.
Yeah, try to bring a little food or something for us. You understand?
Yes.
But yeah, so it's about ensuring that we provide you the information. Like Chamber of Commerce and St. Lucia Youth Business Trust, their vision is to empower and to train and to mold our upcoming entrepreneurs into who they need to be. Our academics, personnel wise, we want you to excel. And I'm not pointing any fingers and saying that it's wrong to be an accountant, it's wrong to be a doctor, but we need persons who are going to be in the trade. So don't be ashamed to be a plumber.
But we need people to feed the accountant and the doctor.
Exactly. But then we have the notion that if you're a plumber, that you don't have a vital job. But guess what?
Every building, all buildings,
it have plumbing
as well.
You electrician. So guess what? You can actually probably make a multi-million-dollar business out of just having plumbers under you, or something of that sort. So basically, we'll be going into business ideas.
That's a good idea. Start a plumbing company.
Oh Lord, that was not for you. That was for the young people listening to the program.
I'm actually telling them it's a good idea.
Yeah, so we're actually going to divulge into business ideas next week. Also try to see which minister we can get on this program in terms of getting information from a ministry as to where they are. Maybe innovation, maybe creative industries, Honorable Bradley Felix in terms of chamber, technology, tourism, as much as we get blows on tourism, but we actually... majority of our jobs are indirectly involved with tourism.
Yes.
So
from the taxi drivers and all.
Photographers, persons working in the supermarkets.
Even people at the arcade.
Correct. So indirectly we are still involved with tourism. So we are going to be divulging into a lot more stuff next week. We were happy to have you for the 2 hours.
Then don't forget the laughter. Remember, we are not uptight.
Correct. So come on, listen with us. You can call into the next program. Sorry we didn't have time to take any calls today. We did. Actually, we're going over the 2 hours. I hope the team do get vexed with us. But anyway, do have fun, and thank you so much for tuning into Youth Empowerment.
And we're going to end with featuring some local artists as well.
Which local artists we feature in there now?
Let me see. I'm thinking of Ali. To me, Ali isn't a good song. Edison John, no? No, what is that?
I have heard a song you want to come. I don't have no. I love the song, eh? So big up to Teddy. I have no problem with the song. I love the song.
It's a motivational song. I'm all about motivation.
Yeah, that's true, and it's actually filmed in some parts of Grizzly as well. So
yeah.
So big up to all those persons who are out there, the guys on the block who are thinking of innovative ideas and giving the young guys around them those ideas in order to go into business and not encouraging persons to go into the life of crime. Big up to you, and thank you so much for the small impact that you are having, and also big up to all those persons who have the ideas. And I know that if you need the push, you'll reach out to one of those support agencies, or you can reach out to any one of us, in terms myself or Winston, and we'll be happy to give you that push that you need. So now we're going to listen to the song Ali
by Edison John,
and then we'll give our last words before we end the program.
Yes.
Is shaping and where I am headed. Got no time for problems. All the weight on your shoulder. Put the problems behind you. If you fall down, just get up and get your head out the dirt and when they try to badmine you and they talking behind you, don't let nothing bother you. Put your hand in the air and everybody, alle, 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 alle. It's time to get up and start moving. Alle, 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 alle. Leaving all your problems behind you. Alle, 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 alle. We pressing on to our victory. Alle, 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 alle. Oh, yeah. There we go. I step forward. I move forward. I step forward. I move forward. I step forward. I move forward. I step forward. The harder the battle, the sweeter the victory. Your situation is not what it seems. As long as you live there, your future is shaping, and where you are headed. Got no time for problems. All the weight on your shoulder. Put your troubles behind you. If you fall down, just get up and get your head out the dirt and when they try to badmine you and they talking behind you, don't let nothing bother you. Put your hand in the air and everybody, alle, 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 alle. It's time to get up and start moving. Alle, 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 alle. Leaving all your problems behind you. Alle, 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 alle. We pressing on to our victory. Alle, alle, alle.
And yes, that is it. That is what we're trying to get our young people to do. We're trying to get you to get up,
Ali,
brush
it down.
You understand?
And move forward and build your legacy.
Correct. So this is what we're here for. We're here to empower you. We're here to push you. And if you're having that small battle with pushing yourself out, then we're here to ensure that we support you and we push you so that you excel. So this is the program Youth Empowerment with Natoya and Winston every Wednesday from 2 o'clock until 4 p.m. Stay locked. We also have some other programs coming on Sky FM this evening. Much love, stay positive, and also ensure that you impact someone's life positively.
And if you miss it, you miss out. And you can actually replay it on Facebook as well.
Yes,
Sky
you can.
FM on Facebook.
And who knows, maybe our next segment we will have a giveaway, maybe.
That.
And we might ask a few questions of what we spoke about in the first segment.
So I cannot win anything? No?
What you want to win? Yeah.
But you having a giveaway? Oh, it's not for me.
What you want to do in the Campari barbecue sauce?
Maybe on that. Oh, like
which one? The dashing vodka?
No.
The fruit brandy?
No, the gin.
Oh, the 5-finger gin?
Yes.
No, we're not giving away alcohol. We're not promoting drinking.
Yeah, that's true, guys.
We might actually, Vincent and I are actually figuring out an idea of how we can feature young entrepreneurs with products. So we're actually doing the fine tuning of those ideas, and we will share it with you possibly on the next segment on how we can feature your products right here at Sky FM. So keep it locked and ensure that you tune into the next program where we might just have some exciting news for you. Thank you so much.
Something.
Yes,
they
will win something, not you, Winston.
Not me?
Not you.
Okay.
Or I can give you away for free.
Anybody want me? So thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for laughing with us.
Yes.
And sorry if you think that we laugh too much.
We laugh too much.
But yeah, life is about being humorous.
Yes. So imagine right now, actually brushing it off, stepping forward, and building our legacy.
Exactly.
And most times they say, hey, just laugh it out. Laugh it out. Don't be upset. Laugh it out.
Take every negative comment and turn it into positive fuel for success.
Yes.
And this is where we take our leave of absence until next week. And don't forget to tune in on Saturday from 1:30 until 3:30, where I go into the topic of abuse, all forms of abuse, and also mental illness. And to all those persons who are still listening to the program or who are still reaching out in terms of battling mental illness. When I say mental illness, I'm talking about depression, attempted suicide. That is not a problem. You are not bothering any one of us. And if you're still hesitating on reaching out, please reach out to us, because we want to ensure that we help you to overcome any issue that you are currently battling or facing. So continue to be great, continue to be successful, and continue to impact the lives of someone positively. And don't forget to smile. Maybe that one smile can change the life of someone. Winston, what you?
No,
Winston, that's what I don't tell you,
I don't want to laugh, So
you didn't want to laugh?
Yeah. So guys, speak up and speak out.
Correct. And I'm going to leave you with this song. It's Not Easy from Lucky Dube. All right. Thank you so much.
My MP said that we would have a new wellness center. Here we are. It's almost finished.
My community said we needed a new wing to our secondary school. And my MP said yes.
My sister said she needed help to find a job, so my MP created a job fair.
Our athlete said we needed better sporting facilities.
A new early childhood development center.
My neighbors said.
My sister said.
The children said.
Community said.
Roads and a new park. And my MP said.
Yes.
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 Of course.
Nous tous, c'est yon famille en Micoud Nord. Et nous continuons pour faire progrès avec Antigil.
Non me la fait bail.
everyone, I'm Amira Sere and I'm a student at the Monaco Passios Combined School. I'm in grade 6 and my teacher is Miss Stanislas. My favorite subject would be math. I don't normally like it, but my teacher makes it finds a way to make it fun. I also love the positive quote she put up all over the walls. It reminds me to keep going. Also, the new wing is very impressive. The balcony is very large, so at break time I can eat my snack and go for a nice little walk. I also like the size of the classroom, so I'm not sticking on anybody because 6 feet apart. Before, it was a rocky ride coming to school when I normally take the bus, but now the drivers don't have any complaints now that the district rep fixed it. Before, it was like a rocky, stony road, dirt road, but now that they fixed it with some concrete and nice tools, it's a smooth ride. I may even fall asleep.
Thank you, Dr. Rigobert.
We're happy that Mr. Birch will be able to serve us to the extent and serve us very well, which I see to myself that's someone that will be able to work for us.
Mr. Birch, I am wishing you the best of luck in the upcoming election. We love you, we are there with you, we are supporting you. And what can I say? I wish the United Workers' Party all the best in that election.
Thank you, Butch. Thank you, my Prime Minister. We all love you.
Yes.
You have a vision, God give it to you.
Yes.
And you is the best Prime Minister we ever get in St. Lucia.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, for Chida Belrose, I don't have no problem with her. I think she's the right person in that time for the right job and to do the right thing, what we always wanted.